everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jenna. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the start of yet another weekend reading vlog. Hi, hello. It's another weekend. It's a toasty weekend. We love to see it. Hello, it is Friday evening, but it's 6:20 at night. Just starting to think about dinner, but I also wanted to pop in and say, hey, and start this vlog. This weekend, what do I got going on? Not a whole lot, like usual, but on Sunday I do have book club with my friends, which is very exciting. We are going to be discussing the first 15 lives of Harry August, which is what I'm trying to finish right now. I am currently on page 333, and I think I have less than an hour left in the audiobook, if I'm not mistaken, or about an hour at the speed that I'm listening to it at. That's what I'm going to be finishing first for reads this weekend. And then I have plans to read both Kaikei by Vaishnavi Patel, which is for a video, and Chain of Iron by Cassie Clare, which is also for a video. Those two books, and then we're gonna see what I get up to after that, because I do have that whole TBR from my friends pick my TBR that I want to get through, and I just got an order of books in from a discount store, which is very exciting. I got both of Hank Green's books, which is awesome because I really enjoyed An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and I need to read A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor. The only thing is that these two paperbacks don't match, the spines don't match, but the heights do match, so it's okay. So it's, you know, okay. And I guess the covers do match as well, they match in design, but the spines do not, and that makes me mad. But I also got Blood of an Exile by Brian Naslund, which is something that I've been seeing. I don't know where I saw it, but it intrigues me enough that I want to read it, which is, you know, why I got it. And then I also got a paperback of The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichek. I think that's how you say it. This is like what people have been pitching it as, like what Circe is to Greek mythology, this is to Norse mythology, so I'm very excited to get to this. I don't have the audiobook for Kaikei, so that's probably going to take me the longest to get through, because I know with audiobooks I can just power through things, especially with Chain of Iron, even though Chain of Iron is beefy and the audiobook is like 24 hours long. It's, when I was listening to it originally this week when I started it, I was going at like above 2.5 times speed through it, because it's a YA book and it's just easier and faster to get through. It's gonna be a good weekend. Other than that, I don't really know. Tomorrow, I'm hopefully gonna be having a writing live stream like I usually do. What I'm gonna be working on, I have no idea. I have zero idea whether I'm gonna get back into Project Dragon or if I'm going to start planning future Project Second Story books. Or I should probably say Arrow Mount books, future Arrow Mount books, because I think that's what the series is going to be called, is an Arrow Mount novel or an Arrow Mount book. Arrow Mount is the town that all these books are going to be set in, so I think I'm going to do that, maybe, or unless I get a bug for Project Dragon. Who's to say? But speaking of Project Second Story, my beta readers are currently, you know, have it all in their hands. One beta reader actually got their stuff back to me already, which is crazy fast. But in the 2 beta readers that I have seen so far start it, because sometimes you can, with Google Docs, if they make comments and stuff on the docs, you get emails as like progress reports almost, like getting comments, which is fun and also incredibly stress-inducing when you start getting comments like right away from beta readers. Both of them so far have brought up the same issue, and it is like the biggest plot hole. And it's like right at the beginning of it, and it's basically just, why would Ari run with Finn? Why? And I'm just like, you know what, you guys are right, so I have to fix that. And yes, and I was like, I don't even know how to fix it. Wednesday, when I was driving home from work, I got an idea and I like spoke it into my notes app as I was driving home, because it was one of those things that I'm like, if I don't get this out of me right now and I don't talk it through, it's gonna be lost. So I did that, and then I rewrote in a more concise way in my little ideas journal, like what I think I'm going to be doing with that. But I'm going to leave most of my Project Second Story rambles until the end of July comes around, because I want to do, as soon as like all my beta readers have given me their feedback, I want to do a beta reading feedback vlog. So like going through that and then deciding on like what my next steps are going to be, and actively starting a second draft of Project Second Story, which is wild. For the rest of July, who knows what I'm going to write. It's probably a good idea to take a little bit of a break, as I have been since I wrote for 25 days straight, pretty much. So anyways, it's the weekend. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for things. Content that I'm watching currently, I still was making my way through Merlin. I'm like a little further through season 3 now, I think. I took a couple days off when I was like watching more of like EXU Calamity when I was watching that, which was brutal, by the way. And my favorite piece of D&D ever that I've ever seen. It was so good. Since then, I've gotten into this like a little bit of I've watched like Dimension 20's like Coffin Run as it's coming out and all that kind of stuff, but TV show wise, I was like, you know what, I want to see more of Ashley Johnson, because Ashley Johnson is the love of my life. So I was like, I'm gonna watch Blind Spot. The TV show that she was on for all those years, and I'm now like 9-ish or more episodes into Blind Spot. I'm really into it, so that's what I've been watching. So we're gonna see how much reading gets done along with the content watching. But I'm rambling now, been talking for too long, so I'm gonna let you guys go and I'll catch up with you a little later. It is now a little bit later. I have my dinner ready to go, and I have finished Harry August, the first 15 lives of Harry August by Claire North, and this was so interesting. I really liked it. I think it feels excessively long, but in a very similar way to The Helm of Midnight, in which like the feeling of the length of the book adds to the story in a way. The concept of this is that there are people in this world, in our world, who die and wake up wake up when they're born again. Same life, same day, they're the same person, and then they remember, and they remember their previous lives. And they keep occurring this cyclical nature. So they can choose to do different things in their life, they can do the same things, what have you, they just keep reliving it over and over and over. And Harry in this is what you would call a mnemonic. Very rare cases of these people. Of these kind of people who are like continuously reincarnated. There's a name for him in here and I can never ever pronounce it. I don't even want to try. There's a name for what they are. He remembers every detail of every life exactly as it was. So in this, he is like an eidetic memory, I guess. I think that's the word for it, eidetic, which not all of these people have. They're just aware that they're reliving their lives over and over, right? So he goes through this kind of explaining his lives and like what he's done. And then he gets to a certain point where I think it's his 11th life, where he is told that the world is ending and that he needs to, you know, help fix it in his, you know, cyclical nature and keep spreading the news that, you know, world is ending, we got to do something to fix it, we got to figure out what's happening. And he meets interesting people along the way who are like him and keep reliving their lives. And it's such an interesting commentary on what people would do if you knew that you would never 100% die, that if you would just keep reliving your life over and over and over again. There's an interesting take on what Harry himself does throughout his 15 lives, like what he changes or what he ends up doing as a human being and what he turns into and like what he loses of his humanity becoming this essentially immortal being. And then it also introduces these other people in his life that some people find out in one of his really early lives. Some people find out what he is or like what his abilities are, because he tells his wife at that point, who is the love of his life and all of his lives almost, that he is who he is, and he is like at the time like 300 years old. And she's like, I don't believe you. And obviously, because that's a wild thing to say. But then he tells her this chain of events that's gonna happen, and then they do happen in the next few weeks or months or whatever. And then she's like, ah, what? I'm out. And so she like reports him to something, and he ends up getting like institutionalized and tortured for information by this person who frees him at some point. It's such an interesting concept because Harry keeps getting wrapped up with these people who are just gaslighters and keep torturing Harry for this information. And I'm just like, my guy, you gotta choose a different lifestyle. Like, even by the end, it's this constant, he keeps questioning himself over and over in this, is like, because that first guy that like tortured him for information, which he ended up breaking and obviously giving the information out, but not the information that the guy wanted. Like the guy wanted to know how a lot of things were done, and he's an observer. He doesn't really change a lot of things. He's just like, well, this is the stuff that happens. I don't know how it happens. It just happens. And like the wars and all that kind of stuff, because this is set, I think Harry's born in 1919. So he dies usually before the 1990s. Usually, I say, because there's one life where he gets to like 2003, which is kind of fun. But he sees all this technology and all this change and all these wars, but he doesn't know how it comes about, right? Because he's just an observer. And so in that moment of being tortured like this, the man says something to him that's basically like, what is the point of you, right? And that question haunts the hell out of Harry for the rest of his 15 lives or more. Well, no, there's only 15 lives in here, but it's this question of what is the point of you? Are you like a god? Are you becoming this? What even is the point of you? Because there's so many of these people in this society that don't do anything. They just live their lives with incredible luxury and enjoying themselves and doing whatever they want without care as to what's happening in the world around them. They just keep reliving the same things and then trying new things. And one person that we meet is he kind of reminds me of Ares from the Percy Jackson books. Like, he is addicted to violence and he always seeks out wars so that he can live in that thrill of being shot. Like, he's been shot like 70 some times in all of his lives, and I'm just like, oh my god. It's such an interesting look at humanity in this. I don't know. Did I like this? Why do I keep reading books that I'm like, did I like this? Because I was so enraptured with this story, but throughout living all these lives with Harry August, we really don't find out what kind of a person he is outside of the fact that he is much of an observer in his really early life, just kind of watching all these events go on. By the time we get to these later lives, he is a mastermind of like figuring things out, and he's also incredibly intelligent. Like, he's got studies in medicine and studies in astrophysics and all sorts of stuff. And by the end of it, he's this man of like, I don't know what he reminds me of. But him and this other person in here called Vincent, 100% they were gay together, even though it was never mentioned on page. 100%. It is confirmed that Vincent himself is gay at one point, or at least queer of some kind, because he does marry women in this. But there's moments on the page where like Vincent's like, you're more than a friend to me, and I'm like, oh, they love each other. Oh. But the relationship that the two of them have reminds me so viscerally of Victor and Eli from V. Schwab's Vicious. It's wild, but it's like if you took Vicious, gave them this kind of reincarnation power rather than the immortality that like the two of them have. Give them that and see what they do with it in a really, really long period of time over almost thousands of years. I don't regret this book club pick anymore. And I'm really glad that I did read it. I'm really intrigued by this. And I've been rambling forever now. Oh my gosh. Anyways, my pizza's probably going cold, but finish that. First read of the weekend down. I'm gonna turn on something on the TV and kind of just chill out for the rest of the evening and see what else I get up to. But wow, first read of the weekend down. Happy Saturday! I have done a few things today. I don't know what it is about Saturdays. They just leak away from me. Like, it is already 10 to 5 and I don't know where the day went. I woke up, did some reading, and then I had my live stream, and I ended up writing in Project Dragon today, and I wrote like 3,100 words today. I didn't realize I was gonna write that much, and I didn't really know what I wanted to work on, as I said yesterday, but I ended up just reading back through Izzy's chapters, the 2 that I had written, adding a few things, changing a few things, getting back into the vibe of the story, and then I ended up diving into a brand new chapter of hers, and I've written that chapter, which is so fun. And I finally have a bit of a prophecy of hers that she's gonna see. Like, I don't know, I wasn't expecting to write that today, but I wrote 3,100 words in Project Dragon. We love to see it, we're back into that. I don't know how much writing I'm gonna do on Project Dragon as the weeks go in the summer, but I hope I keep up some kind of writing momentum, because it's been like 2 weeks since I finished my challenge of writing every day, so we're back in it, I guess. But I also spent some time reading Chain of Iron this morning, which is for my Friends Pick My TBR video. And I'm gonna continue reading that, but currently I'm gonna do some tidying, and then I might run to the store and just kind of piddle around the neighborhood. It is so hot outside today though. I don't really want to go outside, but I also want to go outside. It's one of those weird like mixed feelings, but I do want to like tidy my place and then vacuum, because my friends are coming over tomorrow for book club, so I want it to look presentable, because there's a lot of stuff just like sitting around. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook of Chain of Iron, and we'll see where the rest of the day takes me. But I ended up staying up too late last night watching Blind Spot. think it was like 3:30 by the time I finally was like, I should probably sleep. That was where I was yesterday, but oh well. Hopefully tonight I can fall asleep at a normal time and then have like a fairly okay day tomorrow as well. But yes, the weekend. What a time to be alive. Hello fans, it is now a little bit later. A lot a bit later. It's 10:30. And I've been sitting here. I watched some Blind Spot episodes with dinner, and I am now continuing my read through Chain of Iron. I am currently 400 pages in. Very exciting. You'll hear all my thoughts in the video for my friends pick my TBR. I'm hoping to get as much of it done tonight as I possibly can so that tomorrow I can focus on Kaikei, because I have the audiobook for another book that I want to read for the Kaikei video, which is the recent releases, like part 2. The second video that I'm doing for that this year. I have the audiobook for the last book in that video that I really want to get to. It's like calling my name from my shelf. So I'm hoping that I can carve through Kaikei tomorrow. So many books I want to read right now. I want to consume them all. I gotta get through my TBR for my friends pick my TBR. I don't know which one I'm gonna pick next, but just wanted to pop in and say, hey, I'll probably see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Tomorrow's book club in the evening, so I have all day to kind of, you know, be myself and do whatever I want. So hopefully I actually get up at a reasonable time, and then I enjoy the day reading. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hello friends, happy Sunday. I am here. I am warm. That's because it's like gross outside again. I don't like summer. I forgot how much I don't like the heat of summer. Complaining about weather is a very Canadian thing to do. Hi. But I wanted to pop in because last night I finished Chain of Iron, which is very exciting. I will forever be screaming about that book and the prowess of Cassie Clare, and I will be getting the third and final book in that trilogy because I forgot how much those books have like crack in them and how good they are. Today, even though I have some books on the go, I have like Kaikei and stuff, I'm gonna start Final Strife by Sarah El Arifi, which is another book for my recent releases video. I have yet to finish Kaikei for that video, but I want to read something with an audiobook, so we're diving into this one. I have some time now. I think my friends are coming around like 5:30 for dinner time roughly, and we're going to be talking about the first 15 lives of Harry August, but it's about 12:30, so I got time. I got lots of time to just kind of chill and spend my day here reading, so that's what I'm going to do. But yes, I'm absolutely obsessed with the inside of this book. The end pages are gorgeous. I am obsessed. Anyways, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep enjoying my coffee, and I'll catch up with you guys a little later. Hello friends, it is now a lot later. I am currently in bed, ready to call it for the night, almost. And I wanted to pop in because I ended up, before my friends came over for book club, which was lovely, I ended up doing that like almost a little bit of a trend that's floating around TikTok right now, where you make like a TBR jar and you have all your like little TBR things. I decided with mine, I did like colors for different categories. So green is for middle grade because I was feeling a middle grade. That wasn't a pick from my friends pick my TBR video. I wanted a different book than the one that was there. So I was like, I'm gonna just dive in. And luckily enough, I got Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan, which is his first novel for kids that is not mythological or mythology based, I guess you could say. I believe it's a standalone about the Jules Verne book, Jules Verne story, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea one. And I decided to, you know, give it a go, give it a gander, and I'm currently 102 pages in, and I don't know if I'm liking it. Like, it's Rick's writing, so I'm liking Rick's writing, of course, because it's Uncle Rick, we love him. But like, from word go with this book, we are taken by the throat and just throttled through all of these extremely terrifying and traumatic experiences. Like, so it's about Anna Dakar, who goes to this marine biology institute with her brother. It's like their only home. So her parents passed away 2 years ago. And at the beginning of this, she has to undergo this trial to get to like the next level, essentially. It's kind of like her final exams. So her and her classmates get on this bus to go to this like port in a different like city, sort of, nearby. And on the way there, they witness a incredibly tragic event of their entire school being absolutely destroyed by an attack. So they are in this bus and they think it's like an earthquake. It's an earthquake-like event, but Anna saw a like machine go through the water nearby them, and like a torpedo essentially, and like just take out the entire school. And they're all like super grieving because they left friends, classmates, family members back at that school, and like the school is gone. It's destroyed. And then their teacher, don't like him at all. Their teacher is like, we can't go back, we have to keep going with this mission, it is very dangerous, all this stuff is happening. And it's just a lot all at once, and it is absolutely brutal, and it almost feels like it's too fast. We didn't have any time to get like comfortable in this world before we were thrown into the ocean, kind of a thing, you know? Like we didn't have a time to get comfortable with the kids or the school or anything. It was just immediate. This is the issue, this is what's happening. And as we're going, it's like based on, as I said, Jules Verne's story, The 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And in this world, that's real. And like all these kids are like, what do you mean it's real? That's a story, it's fiction. And everyone, all the adults are like, nah, she's real. So, and Anna Dakar, I've never read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but like all the names and stuff are explained as to why they matter according to that story. And Anna Dakar is the like last name of one of the characters in the story. So, and like the school is named after two of the other characters and all this kind of stuff. So it's like very, very like, I mean, kids probably wouldn't get it, but like as an adult who even hasn't even read the book but is aware of it, it's like pretty like hitting you over the head with it almost. And this is also not middle grade, I don't think. Is it? What is it priced as? No, this is young adult because our main character Anna is 15. So like upper middle grade, younger young adult. This is kind of where I would put like the Heroes of Olympus series for age range, but I'm intrigued. And I'm gonna see how much more I can get read tonight because, like, you know, Rick Riordan's books go usually pretty quickly and it is very action-packed. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes for sure. Love Rick's writing. It's immediately very voicey and immediately very intense, of course. Like immediate traumatic events that happen to these kids. They're thrown into it, truly thrown into it. I thought we were gonna be getting a fun little under the sea adventure, and I thought they were gonna get to the bottom of the sea and that's where shit was gonna hit the fan. But no. They watched and witnessed all of their friends and classmates die from afar, unable to do anything. Goddamn. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. I just thought I'd update you on that. This is what I'm reading on a complete whim. I read a little bit of The Final Strife today, got about 50 pages in with that, and I have mixed feelings about the first 50 pages. I've not heard anywhere advertised that that book is, with the main character, has a drug addiction. Warning you there. You'll hear more of my thoughts, of course, in my recent releases, number 2 that'll be going up once I'm finished that book, and Kaikei as well, which I also did try and read a little bit of. I got to the 200-page mark of that one today. I just wasn't feeling either of them, which is why I went and decided to pick up a random middle grade, because I think I needed something other than high fantasy to like cleanse me from the chain of iron cliff that I'm still hanging from. I finished a like literary fiction on Friday, which was The First 15 Lives of Harry August, which was, I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars, and we had a full little range of ratings. We had a 2-star, 3-star, 3.5, and then 4-star. It was a very interesting discussion about like what happened in the book and whatever. Yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars. And then I also put Chain of Iron through Copile today when I was sitting there, and it's 4.5 stars. So we love to see it. Cassie Clare is owning my entire soul. Now, I wanted to read most of Kaikei today, but like it just wasn't grabbing me, and also The Final Strife just wasn't grabbing me. So we're going for something quick and fast and really fast paced, which is what this is. So I will catch you tomorrow. Hello friends, I thought I would update you now. Nobody say anything about my sleep schedule because we all know it's absolutely bananas. Also because the fact that I'm like awake right now and like fine. But I just finished Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. This was interesting. It has the signature Rick flair, but because it's not Percy as a narrator, it's Anna, our main character. It didn't have the same like charm to it that you kind of expect from a Rick Riordan. It still had a lot of charm. I was totally charmed by this story by the end, and I don't actually think it's a standalone. I think this is a series. It could be easily a series by the way that this ends. It didn't feel very wrapped up, but I think the story itself, as I said earlier, so intense. The beginning felt so rushed, and the ending felt really rushed as well. It felt like we got a really well fleshed out story in the middle, and like really interesting, and with like all of the tie-ins to Jules Verne's story, and we get a sentient ship in this, and you guys know how much I love sentient ships. And there's also really great representation of an autistic girl with an emotional support dog who is my favorite dog and the bravest boy in the whole world. Top is the best. And we just have like moments in this where a typical YA author would throw in extra drama and angst for the drama and angst. Like there's moments in this where Anna herself like kind of takes a captain's role. Pretty much everyone around her is like, yes, you are the captain, we're going to listen to you. And there's no added drama of like people going behind her back or like not going with her authority or whatever. They're all like, yeah, okay, you are gonna guide us. And by the end of their like 3-day journey, everyone's like a team and a machine, and they're all dealing with this intense grief of what has happened at the school and like the trauma of it. Even her friends, just the way that they treat each other and the way that they are there for each other is just wonderful. There's also mention of a period in this. Anna gets her period on like the first day of the trip after all of this. She has to deal with that as well. And it like talks about it in such a an easy, normal way. Like she talks about having Midol and how her cramps are really bad, and all of her friends are like, we got this, we got you, girl. And they like get her heating pads and all of her stuff. And I'm just like, this is what stories like this should be. There shouldn't be added extra drama for the sake of drama. Like these kids need each other, and that shows in this. I really liked the friendships in this. I'm intrigued because it feels like we didn't get a whole lot about each character in this, but like we got enough to carry us through this story. Like I don't think any more would have been needed in this story, but it does feel like the first book in a series. So I'm really hoping that Rick comes out with more in this series because it just seems cool. I love them being underneath the sea as they are in The Daughter of the Deep. So cool. And the tech in this is neat. I don't know anything about tech, about, you know, being under the water. So like, and I've not read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So I don't know about the tech that's mentioned in there, but this was really interesting. Yeah, like my only issues with it is that it felt so rushed at the beginning, and then the ending didn't feel like it lasted and settled long enough to give us a nice solid ending. Like it was like 2 chapters away from the ending and they were still dealing with the issues. This was definitely a good read. I'm glad that I finally picked it up. Thank God for TBR jars. 3rd book of the weekend done. Oh my God. Now I will say goodnight. Hello everyone, it's Monday. Happy Monday. I have styled my hair so that my bangs are hidden in my hair today, and I feel like my old self. It's low-key kind of nice. But I wanted to pop in because it's officially Monday. It's officially the last day of this vlog, the end of the vlog. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. What did I get up to this weekend? I read a lot of things. I ended up reading First 15 Lives of Claire North, finishing it, I should say, on Friday. Gave that 3.5 stars. Had book club on Sunday, which was so lovely. I also finished Chain of Iron by Cassie Clare, which is the 2nd book in the Lost Hours trilogy. That is for my friends pick my TBR video. It's always hard to say that because you have to say my twice. And then I ended up reading a little bit of Kai, still going through this, and a little bit of The Final Strife. Still have to make my way through that. Other than that, I ended up reading last night also the entirety of Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. I looked at it this morning as I was throwing it through Copile, and apparently this is a standalone, which kind of lessens my rating of it a little bit because it feels like the first book of a series. It feels like we didn't get the whole story. It feels like we didn't get all the characters, and it sets up for possible stories after this. For sure. Like it doesn't complete the storyline for a couple of things. So like this sets up very, very well for like a 2 or 3 book series. And I think that's just how Rick writes. Like he just kind of does that automatically. So I think that this could have been like 50 pages longer to settle my issue with the pacing at the beginning and the end of the book. And it probably could have been 50 pages longer to give us a more solid ending, to make it feel like it stands on its own. Because as it is, it feels like it needs more. It really does feel like it needs more. But I ended up giving that one 3.5 stars because it was still charming and wonderful, and I love the tech that was introduced into it. It is a urban sci-fi, which I don't think I've ever read an urban sci-fi, except, no I have. Oh I have? I have. It was a claim that I immediately knew was a lie, so
but it's one of the genres or subgenres that I have not read a lot of in my life, so it was very interesting. And I'm now almost intrigued to read the original 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne, but I will say that Anna in this calls it really boring and dense, so I don't know if I will, because I trust her opinion as a 15-year-old girl who's read the books, or who has had to read the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And I know it's Rick saying that through her, but anyways. Yes, 3 books this weekend, and it was a fairly good reading weekend, so what else can you ask for? But I need, for the rest of this month going forward, to focus on the books that are on my actual TBR for this month, which is for the video of my friends FIC my TBR. So the next couple weekends are gonna be me reading those books because I do need to focus on it, because I have so far read 7 books this month and only 2 of those are books that I needed to read. So today I also need to go pick up a couple holds from the library, which is really exciting. I was gonna go Friday, but there was that whole Rogers shutdown in Canada, so the library was closed, so I couldn't do that. So I'm gonna go today, drop off a bunch of library books that I have here, pick up some more holds, and so I have those to read as well. I have a feeling that July is gonna be like one of the bigger reading months for me. Just at the pace that I'm going, it's July 11th and I've read 7 books, and I'm like in the mood to just read everything right now. So hopefully we keep this up. And I have another 6 books that I for sure have to read in July. So it's gonna be a lot of books this month. It's gonna be great. Anyways, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for watching. And if you got to the end of this video, leave me a little aquatic animal emoji, like an octopus or a dolphin or a shark for Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan, so that I know you made it all the way to the end. I will catch you in another video very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.